Hello, this is Relentless, and welcome to my my recap of Week 1 of the GPC with the Tennessee Tynamos. This first battle of the season came against Phalop, coach of the Dewford Drapions. I hope I pronounced his name right. I'm actually not sure how it's supposed to be pronounced, but I think it's Phalop, whatever. I mean, not whatever, it's important, but anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over the team real quick, and then we're gonna get right to the replay. I wanted to try it out live, but it didn't turn out well. I'm gonna keep trying it until it works, but like, I don't know, league battles take a long time, so yeah, we're doing post. Sad trombone. Anyway, so yeah, this is the mons I decided to bring. And so first off, I decided to go with Skarmory just because it pretty much walls most of his team. Weavile, Clefable, Tangela, Flygon, Machoke, Donphan, and Alamola all can't really touch this thing. Neither can Mega Aggron, but like I can't really touch Mega Aggron either. So, but anyway, let me explain this set. Yes, I know it is terrible. I am aware of that. I'm probably never going to be able to live it down. However, let me just try to explain my reasoning here. So basically with Skarmory, really all I wanted to do was just wall all those Pokemon and set up rocks, just because I didn't really want to have another rocker on my team. And basically the reason basically the reason I decided to go with this set is because I really wanted to outslow Donphan. And what I mean by that is, well, I really decided to run specially defensive, and that's just because I wanted Clefable and yeah, pretty much just Clefable to not be able to really just wreck me with Fire Blast, or Flygon for that matter. So yeah, I wanted to run specially defensive, but at the same time not being Roost bait to Donphan, because of course Roost takes away the flying typing, so I'd be weak to Earthquake. So what I did instead was decided to run a Brave Nature and run 5 Speed IVs just so I could outslow Donphan. And that's because I could get the Roost off second, and another thing with that is that after I Toxic it, I could just keep setting Stealth Rocks, and I'd win the Rapid Sprint war pretty much, just because it because a lot of times when a Pokemon outspeeds a Hazard Remover, they'll just the Hazard Remover will just completely stall until it either dies or like the opponent runs out of Stealth Rock and all that. So I didn't want any of that. I wanted rocks up, and I wanted them to stay. So that was my reason for that. And the reason why this was bad, I'm gonna get more on that later. But basically, one of the reasons is because it makes me slower than Clefable, and that was kind of an oversight of my part. I didn't really even think of that, but yeah. So I wouldn't be able to get off like the Iron Heads, because I was actually ran this set just so I could 2-hit KO Clefable, because the Brave Nature 40 attack EV is the Iron Plate. That allows it to 2-hit KO max defense Clefable. Yeah, that's why I did that. Pretty sure. Yeah, that's got to be it. Why else would I do that? Why else would I do this atrocity? Yeah. So that was my deal with Skarmory. Yeah, like I said, I'll get more on that later. Why it was bad, but that's a discussion for after we go over the battle. My next Pokemon I decided to go with was Lantern, and I chose Lantern because Thundurus T is very, very scary. Yeah, so I ran the Soulfest set just because I wanted it to be as bulky on the special side as possible, while also being able to do damage, because as we all know, Thundurus T has the fantastic Volt Absorb ability, so you can't just freely Volt Switch on it. So I didn't want, and while I originally wanted Jabun to just come in and be a pivot, it can't really do that just because Thundurus can just it can just use those Volt Switches to its advantage. Oh, I can't talk right now. So yeah, I can just come in, Ice Beam it or whatever, and really I just have coverage to hit his whole team. Volt Switch, of course, for like pivot action hits Alomomola. Scald because hacks. We all love hacks, and Water Step because why not? Ice Beam, of course, to hit Thundy T and Flygon, and really a lot of his team. His team's very weak to ice. And Dazzling Gleam. This was more just for Kyurem because I wanted something that could hit Kyurem because Kyurem also is a big threat to my team. I don't have many switch into that, so I figured, might as well just get as much damage as I can on Kyurem, and then either take it out with or I guess I don't really have any options for that, except for actually no, I have Mittens, which we'll get into in a minute. So yeah. Next up is King Chip, the Nidoking. Nidoking, just because his team's pretty weak to Nidoking. Of course, Clefable, Mega Aggron, both the Stabs and Earth Power and Sludge Wave both destroy both of them. And his team doesn't really have many switch-ins to those two moves. The rest is Ice Beam, just because Flygon can be a huge problem for this guy, and also it'll just destroy Thundurus T in case it tries to switch in. So Ice Beam just surround the coverage, and I chose Sucker Punch over Thunderbolt for Alomomola because I noticed that I really had even though this lineup I had, it hit his team very hard, I didn't really have much speed. So I figured priority would probably be important in case it comes down to the wire with like Thundurus T or Kyurem or something. So yeah, I just wanted to have that little safety net there, sacrificing Thunderbolt because the thing about Thunderbolt is that it doesn't OHKO Alomomola. It 2-KOs it, and Sludge Wave 2-KOs it too. So it 1v1s it anyway. So I figured, just go with Sucker Punch. Next up we have Wilbur. This is another really, really bad idea. This is, of course, Flare Blitz, Route Charge, Superpower, just because that coverage hits his whole team. Then we have Flame Charge. Where I screwed up here is the Flame Charge. And the reason for I'll actually no, I'll get on that later when I talk about my problem with Skarmory was, but yeah, the whole point of this one was that after one Flame Charge, I could outspeed Thundurus T and then just destroy it with Flare Blitz. Really, the whole point of it was to be able to like set up on Clefable or something, because Clefable doesn't usually want to stay in for a Flare Blitz and all that. So yeah, all that stuff. Wild Charge is to hit Alomomola, and then I also had Superpower just so I could hit. What did I have Superpower for? Oh, I remember why. I wanted Superpower just because in case I was in against Weavile, Alomomola wouldn't be as safe of a switch, just so I could do as much damage as possible. So yeah, that was my reason for that. Next I decided on Mittens. This is a very interesting set. This was actually a good set. And this was because I didn't really have many checks to Weavile. In Wilbur's case, if I try to use Wilbur, I get my Assault Vest lost and all that in case he wants to like knock off or something, and Wilbur can get walled by Alomomola even with all those moves. So I don't know. I decided just have a backup plan in case Wilbur is down and Weavile's still out there. And this is Nasty Plot, Soft Boiled, Sludge Bomb, and Vacuum Wave. This just hits his whole team. Of course, you got the Culver Berry to take knockoffs from Weavile, and my plan is that I just set up a Nasty Plot on Weavile, and then I just take it out with Vacuum Wave and be able to just do as much damage as possible from there. Of course, Sludge Bob hit Sludge Bob. What am I talking about? Sludge Bob SquarePants. Anyway, Sludge Bomb is for Clefable. I don't know. I don't really know what I was thinking about that, because obviously Clefable can get unaware, and the whole thing was that like it 2-hit KOs Clefable usually. However, the problem with that is Clefable can run Calm Mind, so you know it can pretty much destroy this set if it's unaware. So I didn't really think of that when building it, but other than that, it destroys Albemola, it destroys Kyurem, and you know it pretty much after a nasty plot, like something's dying pretty much with this Mew. That's my whole point of it. And just kind of molded it to my opponent's team. And that's what I was talking about in my draft analysis about Mew. When you're forcing it into like a stall breaker, like a defog roll, it doesn't get to do this kind of stuff, like this very, very like niche moveset kind of deal. And this is really like Mew's potential right here. This is kind of stuff Mew can do. So I'm glad I was able to bring something like this week 1 just to kind of show off like the how you really should be using Mew. So yeah. And then finally we have Vape God. This set, of course, Hyper Voice, Agility, Roost, Cotton Guard. Outside of, again, Clefable being Clefable and doing Clefable things, this set just really wrecked his team. Because I decided to go with Cotton Guard over Fire Blast, because normally the set is Agility, Roost, Hyper Voice, and Fire Blast. I decided to go with Cotton Guard just because Weavile can't even 4-hit KO with Icicle Crash after a Cotton Guard. That's just how bulky it gets after one Cotton Guard. So, and of course, Mega Aggron can't do anything to it, and Mega Aggron has no reliable recovery outside of, or not outside of anything. Like it has no reliable recovery. So it's not, even though it can certainly tank Hyper Voices, it really does not have a good way to answer this. So, yeah, that's why I decided on this set. I just wanted something that could come in after everything else has been weakened and just pretty much clean up. And that's exactly what this Mega Altaria does. Cotton Guard was just a safety net in case Mega Aggron and Weavile were still running amok. But other than that, Hyper Voice really just murdered his team. Because he has a lot of very physically oriented Pokemon, such as Donphan and Alomomola and Tangela and Mega Aggron. He doesn't have many special walls. Really his only specially defensive Pokemon is Clefable, and even still, that it's not even that. I mean, it is bulky, but like it's not the classic specially defensive wall. I mean, it certainly has its flaws there, in terms of switching in on stuff like that. But yeah, so that was my team. So yeah, let's just go right into the battle. And hold on, let me mute my my sound there. There we go. So yeah, here is my battle against the Dewford Drapions, brought to you by Penn Station's delicious East Coast subs. Try one today. So yeah. So first turn, here's the Thundurus. I lead with Skarmory. I know Skarmory's lead was kind of predictable. However, the reason I led with it was just because, in case he just tries to lead with Aggron or Clefable, I can just get my rocks up. And Thundurus, I already had a really good switch into Thundurus and Lantern, so I wasn't really afraid of Thundurus at all. So I just want to lead in Skarmory just in case. However, even though I have Sturdy and he has no way to get rid of, oh, he does. He has Flygon. Never mind. But I know I had Sturdy, but I mean, Skarmory is important, so of course I was going to save it. So I go into Lantern here. As it goes for the Psychic, that's doing a lot. However, after that calc, I figured out this thing was modest. So right away he revealed that he was modest, and I believed he was Scarfed. We're going to see how that went later on. But anyway, so he switches out here into his Lucius. I just go for Ice Beam. I went for Ice Beam just in case he wanted to like set up with Nasty Plot or something. I didn't really want to risk the threat of that, and of course, if you go for Volt Switch, it just helps him. So, yeah, I didn't really want to risk anything early on. I usually don't. I usually don't risk stuff early on. So yeah, I just went for the safe Ice Beam, and now I have Volt Switch. I knew Thunderous could come into this Volt Switch here. However, I decided to go for it anyway just because it was already at full HP, so it wouldn't really hurt at all to go for that. As he actually makes a risky play and goes into Flygon. I don't know. I almost did go for Ice Beam there, expecting that, but I didn't want Clefable to start setting up Calm Minds or anything because that could really be bad. So I just wanted to go to the Volt Switch there. So I switch into Skarmory, I believe, or no, I switch into Altaria. This is actually a really risky switch on my part, but I figured there was really no reason for him to go for a Dragon type move. Just because, I mean, the obvious switch is Skarmory, so if anything, he was going for a Fire type move, so Altaria was a safe switch either way. So I was just able to go there, get my Mega off, and then just hurt something really bad with Hyper Voice. And this was a really bad point in the match. So I go for the Hyper Voice. It does 49%. And so I'm like, cool, it's going to take it out because it only has 47. But nope, I get low rolled. That was such a bad part of the match. I was so frustrated there. Well, as frustrated as I can get. I don't get very salty, but I mean that was really frustrating. Just the 1 HP live, just something that should have KO'd, but didn't. So his Clefable stays alive after it Moonlights, and of course I can't do anything here, so I have to switch out. As I go into Emboar, of course I'm Assault Vested, so I can really take anything it wants to take, and I can just go whatever move I want here. So I go for the safe Flare Blitz, just because like I'm not predicting early as it goes into Lomomola. That does a lot, so it tells me that he's not fully physically defensive, and it also reveals he doesn't have leftovers, which I stupidly should have realized that he had the Wakan Berry. I did realize this actually. However, I decided to go for Wild Charge anyway. Like I knew it was coming, but I was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna get rid of that thing, might as well get rid of it now. I don't know. I probably should have switched into Skarmory there or something. I didn't really need to risk that, but whatever. He switches out here because Regenerator and all that. So I just go for Wild Charge again. Not really sure what I was thinking there. That was a weird play. You know. But anyway, he has Flygon, and I go into Skarmory because I figured, you know what, if he has Fire Blast, whatever. I didn't really expect him to go for it there. Just because it didn't really seem like the safe play. But so he goes for the Earthquake as thankfully I make the right decision to go to Skarmory here. As he goes for Fire Blast, misses, which is unfortunate for him, but I am able to get up Stealth Rocks. As he defogs here, as I saw that coming, so I just go for the Toxic. So I put this Flygon on a timer now. And here I just stay in. I wanted to see how much Fire Blast did, so he revealed that he is more specially oriented with the Life Orb, so that's good to know for me. So I get my Stealth Rocks again, and of course I expected him to just defog again, so might as well just switch into Mew. I think I do set up the Nasty Plot here. Yes, I do. As he goes to Nick Clefable, and this is where I was talking about how I wasn't really thinking. I wasn't really thinking about this because he was running a lot more special bulk than I anticipated. I originally had Sludge Wave on this too. I don't know if that would have changed things, but either way, I get the poison, so that's nice. However, he can't just set up Calm Mind, so he can just set up Calm Mind in my face, and since he's unaware, I can't really do anything about that. And I already knew he was unaware from before because he used Moonlight, but I figured, I mean, in case, just in the off chance that he wasn't running enough Spadef to really take that, I figured, you know, it might as well just try it out. So, yeah, it's gonna heal up. Clefable's stupid. So Wild Charge there. I predict the switch into Lomomola there. I'm actually surprised he didn't switch out there just because I've been playing really predictable up to this point. However, he stays in. I'm not really sure how much Flare Blitz would have done, if it would have like come close to taking it out or not. Probably not, as he does go into Lamula here. Really good play on his part. So Wilbur's pretty much just getting destroyed by his own recoil there. So now I go into Mew again, and I figure there's no point in trying to do anything because I can just go into Clefable, and I predicted that, so I go into Nidoking. And here is where I probably make my best play of the match, as I predict the Flygon switch and I go for Ice Beam there. I don't know, Sludge Wave might have KO'd depending on what he was EV'd, I'm pretty sure. However, I knew there was no way he was going to stay in there. So I knew he was either going to go into Aggron, Flygon, or Thundurus, pretty much. Or right now, pretty much just Aggron and Flygon. So if he goes into Aggron, I do the Ice Beam, and then I could just... then it's in range of being taken out by Earth Power, I'm pretty sure. And if he goes into Flygon, it just dies. So I figured there was no way he was staying in there. So Ice Beam just seemed like the right play for me there, and it was. Thankfully. So now he goes into Thundurus, and of course I'm afraid of like the HB Ice or Psychic or whatever. I forget I think I go for the Volt Switch here, actually, predicting the switch. Yes, I do. I know that was a risky play, but I mean, Thundurus, at this point in the match, I was convinced Thundurus was scarfed. Just because, one, he was modest. Usually you would run Timid on that thing if it wasn't scarfed. And also just because he only revealed Psychic. He hasn't switched up moves at all. So I thought he was scarfed there. So I just go for the Volt Switch because I figured, you know what, he's not staying in. And I was right. As I go into Skarmory here, as I can finally get up my rocks, which is nice because he has no way to get rid of them. And here he goes for his own Stealth Rocks. I just roost up. And pretty much, this makes me look like an asshole here. I understand that. It looked like I was just going for Flinch Hacks, but really, I had no other play. So I was really just hoping he either roared or he just didn't have rest or something. I could just whittle him down. Thankfully, he did go for Roar, though, which was not the right play for him. And here I decided to just go for Earth Power. It goes into his Alomomola. I was kind of afraid of the Thundurus switch in. However, I was thinking that, you know, Thundurus seems to be very important on his team, especially if it is Scarf, just because it can clean up given the chance. So I figured he wouldn't really want to risk his Thundurus dying. So I just went for Sludge Wave, or Earth Power, I mean, and then I just take out the Alomomola with the Sludge Wave, just in case he thinks I'm like Choiced or something and tries to go into Thundurus, which he doesn't. So now he goes into Weavile. Of course, I have to switch because I have nothing for Weavile. And here I go into Skarmory, and this was a bad play. I really should have sacked Emboar, because Emboar at this point was only at 15%. So really, Emboar could come in, like do like one more Flare Blitz and die pretty much. And considering how two of his Pokemon outspeed me already, it didn't really seem much fun keeping it around. So this was a really bad play on my part. So yeah, Skarmory can take another knockoff, of course, but I just wanted to, I don't know, this was another bad play right here. I should have roosted as well. However, the reason I went for Iron Head was just because I knew the Thundurus was coming in. However, after some calcing, I realized that after an Iron Head and another Stealth Rock switch in, this thing guarantees to be dead to Sucker Punch. And like I said, at this point, I thought this thing was scarfed. However, it's Nasty Plot, and it's just gonna take me out with the Sludge Wave, and this pretty much is just the end of the match here. I sent in Mega Altaria there because I made a mistake while calcing, because I put in regular Altaria instead of Mega Altaria. I just derped there, so I lost Mega Altaria, which sucks pretty bad. So now I go into Mew. I go for Vacuum Wave just so maybe on the off chance I could carry out with Sucker Punch because there's no way I'm living a Thunderbolt. And here I do go for the Sucker Punch, and it crits it and takes it out. So yay, I get some free differential thanks to hacks. However, he did get the roll with the Clefable, so it is fair. It is fair. Shut up. I deserve that. So yeah, now pretty much I'm just gonna send everything to their doom. And right here is where roosting on Skarmory would have been better. Or not roosting on Skarmory. Or sacking Emboar pretty much, and being able to roost up with Skarmory and all that. Just for this situation right here. So yeah. Let this be a lesson, boys and girls. Never assume Thundurus T is scarfed, because it can nasty plot and then wreck your life. So, yeah, pretty much. I was hard on myself there. Don't worry, we discussed after that. It was, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad as it seemed. Like I said, I don't get very salty, but I do get hard on myself after losses. And so yeah, let's just segue into what I did wrong. And well, first off, we talked about the bad plays with the Emboar and the Skarmory there late in the game. Those are really bad plays. I should not have done that. I should not have assumed that Thundurus was choice scarfed. Hacks wasn't really a factor in this battle, I don't think. Of course we had that crit on Thundurus, which didn't really matter in the end. And of course the roll on Clefable. I don't know how much that would have changed stuff though. Maybe it would have, maybe not. There's really no way to tell. However, like I said, this is definitely on me, and I'm going back to Emboar and Skarmory, to what I was talking about. Excuse me. So yeah. Basically, the whole thing about his team, and I knew this when I was building, is that as long as I can get rid of the Alomomola and the Clefable, then Mega Altaria just goes ham on his team. However, with the way I kind of ran my wall breakers, I did not prepare for that right. King Chip was all right. Maybe should have run Thunderbolt instead, just for the extra power, but it was definitely equipped to take out those Pokemon. But it did have a lot of stuff that could switch in, or that could revenge it and all that, such as Thundurus and Flygon. However, Wilbur was really where I screwed up the most, just because I pretty much just let it be susceptible to Alomomola. And that's really because I ran a Jolly Assault Vest set. I don't know why. I made this to be like a backup for Mega Altaria in case it fails, but there was no need for that. I didn't need that at all. Like, I had Mittens, I had Chip, I had even Jaboon could have done that. I really should have run a Life Orb or a Choice Band set, just an absolute like nuke set. And that's because this thing's Jolly with no boost to its attack. It's not taking out Alomomola. Wild Charge is not destroying it. Whereas if I was like Adamant Choice Band, I mean, you have Clefable that does not want to take a Wild Charge, and then it's like, where's your god now? In this case, Alomomola was his god, pretty much. So I just let Alomomola walk all over this Emboar. Yeah, let me show the calcs right here. Emboar, Auto Attacker, Clefable. As we know, he was running some special bulk. Yeah, but I know he was running a lot more special bulk than this. I'm pretty sure, because we can go to Mew. Actually, we can figure this out right now. Although I could probably just ask him right now and he'd tell me, but this is more fun. Oh, actually, never mind. I guess he was running a bit more physical bulk than I anticipated. I don't know what I was thinking then with this Mew. I don't know. That might have been a mistake. I could have run taunt on it. I don't know. Anyway, however, even so, I mean, Wild Charge just does a ton to this thing. He can't really take it on reliably, is what I'm trying to say here. And even, actually, you know what? Better example, let's use Life Orb. Life Orb Flare Blitz does, this 2 KOs it regardless. Alamomola, defensive. I think he was running like the OU set. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like what he was running. Even that Wild Charge just does so much to it. You can't really switch into it reliably. Even and like after like that superpower, it's I mean it's not perfect, but it really wears down his team, which this Embor just did not do. It was not powerful enough to wear his team down at all. And that really is where I went wrong. I had no way to. I mean, I did have a way, but I didn't have any good ways to deal with his core, and that's why I lost. and I lost beautifully to Thunderous. So yeah. Oh, and Sucker Punch. I should have run Sucker Punch. Like, of course, that Thunderous would not have been a problem if I ran Sucker Punch on this thing. So, yeah. Just me being a rookie. I really am more of a rookie, I guess. I mean, I've done like a couple leagues before, but I've never done anything like really competitive like this. So yeah, it's, you know, just rookie mistakes. I'm learning through it. I already figured out after my first match what I'm doing wrong. So I predict that I'll be a lot better as the season progresses, because I think this is a really good team. I really do. It's not the hardest hitting team, which I might have to fix, or the fastest team for that matter, which I might need to fix during one of like the change periods we have after each 3 weeks. But other than that, I think my team is like I had what I needed to win that game. I just made a couple bad plays, and bad decisions on Embor helped, and Skarmory for that matter, just because, I mean, hello, Clefable. But, yeah, so, I don't really think there's much to say here. The Tynamos unfortunately start this season 0-1. However, it was a good learning experience, I couldn't have asked for a better first match in terms of just kind of giving me like a experience to kind of build on, because I always believe that it's a lot better to start bad and finish good than to start good and finish bad, because when you finish bad and like it rolls around to the playoffs, your problems are not going to be solved. If you can end the season on a high note, even if I don't make the playoffs, like that's a huge goal. Even if I don't do that, I mean, I have more confidence and I have more learning for like the next league I do, or the next season or whatever. So, yeah, I'm just taking this game by game, really, and I'm happy. I'm happy with where I am right now. Even if I almost got 4-0'd by Thunderous T. Might have been 5-0'd, I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This has been Reddithan, and I will see you in the next week, where I face the very, very scary El Scissor. So, yeah. Wish me luck, and hopefully we'll be able to end up with a win next week. So, yes. Thank you again for watching. Please subscribe if you liked, or leave a like, or just whatever to show me support. I like it. It makes me feel good inside. It gives me the warm and fuzzy feelies and all that. So, yeah. Goodbye.